What's good, y'all? This your main man, KCFL King Self of Life Wrestling It Takes. Uh, we're only doing main events and all in for this review. I still haven't watched Evolution because, like I said, I'll be out driving, but I'm home and I'm only talking about the shows that I watched the entirety of. I have not watched the entirety of Evolution yet. I don't want to do the girls bogus, so when I get the opportunity, I'm going to watch the show. Then I'm going to give you a thorough review on that. But this is only main events and all in. So I'm doing the worst show first, then I do all in. Let's run through it. We're going to run through it because really nothing really happened. Randy and Jelly Roll defeated Drew and Logan Paul, which match is turning into a tag team match at Summer Joke. There you have it. Don't give a dang about it. No disrespect to Jelly Roll, but it is what it is on that. Solo defeats Jimmy Uso for the U.S. Championship. Solo just got it. There's no way in the world he's losing. This is where everything went down. LA Knight defeated Seth. That was not supposed to happen. Seth messed his knee up and he just pinned him 1, 2, 3. And then we go here. Now, Oldberg, regardless of how I feel about Oldberg, him and Gunther actually did not have that bad of a match. They did. But Gunther took care of the trash and sent him packing. And unfortunately, Charles Robinson has cracked ribs. I know Bret Hart is somewhere saying this is why you don't have this old man out there. Yes, Goldberg injured Charles Robinson, cracked his ribs. Sad, very sad, but it is what it is on that. And main event, we should have never had it. We should have never had it. It's a waste of time. It's just Triple H, quote unquote, trying to go after this guy over here. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, when it comes to the pre-show, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to be 100% with y'all. The only matchup that should have been on the pre-show is this one. You didn't need these two. You didn't. Listen, let me tell you something. As much as I enjoyed All In, and I say this all the time, All In is the only place where Tony Khan can have a elongated doggone pair. This is the only place he's allowed to do it. But if it was me, these two clown matches are not going on here. This does not add to nothing. This adds to nothing. Nobody's here to see this, but this is what Tony Khan does. And he does it. He thinks this is what's best for business. Don't nobody care. So I didn't give a dang about these. I didn't see these two matches, so I don't care. I'm going with what I came in and watched. I came in right when the Outrunners was going against Cash and Dax Harwood. Now, I think this is the final opportunity for them to go after them, and they lost again. The Outrunners lost. Cash and Dax got the job done. And if I'm not mistaken, Cash and Dax are the #1 contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championships moving forward, if I'm not mistaken. So later on, they will be out there for the AEW Tag Team match, and we'll get there. So, we open up the show, and I feel this was actually a great open. This is what you do. You go with the matches that lean the least. You start off with that. I think Tony probably was going to start with the TNT title, but because of what happened with Adam Cole is having concussion issues, and there's a possibility he may not be able to wrestle again, and I feel bad. I feel real bad, man, because there was a lot of potential for Adam Cole coming into AEW, but the injuries derailed him. I'm not even going to blame the booking. It's the injuries. The injuries is what derailed him. The ankle, the concussions. I mean, it's like the start, stop, pushing, and then let's not even forget about the Britt Breaker situation. I mean, just so much and I'm like, man. So Tony Khan said, you know what? We're gonna open up the show with the Death Riders trying to get back their trios titles from the Ops, Shibata, Hobbs, Joe. This is actually a very good 6-man tag team match, and they won. However, Samoa Joe got taken out, not just him. Hobbs got taken out, and Shibata. Why? For later on. Gabe Kidd, Claudio, Willa Yuta look like jokes, but they did what they're supposed to do by beating the brakes off of them so that they can't interfere in the main event. That's what that was all about. Now, I think Samoa Joe got written off TV because I think Twisted Metal is being filmed again. I think the latest season. So this was basically a way to write him off. Now, if I'm TK, and I know Hook is not seeing eye to eye with them right now, but while Samoa Joe is out, Hook could be the fill-in for Samoa Joe. I would do that. That's what I would do. I would legit do that. I would actually have Hook be the fill-in. It's wild. I know he kind of not seeing eye to eye with them right now, but I would say, hey, look, hey man, I know the injury to you, kind of sidelined you, but I'm on the shelf now. It's only right for me to allow you to have this title while I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Then we can figure out things moving forward. But I'm telling you right now, the next Trios champion should be Ricochet squad. Gates of Agony and Ricochet should be the next Trios champion. Whenever that time calls for it, that's what I'm doing. If I was booking the Trios division, the Gates of Agony and Ricochet would be my next Trios champion. That's just me. Good opener. All I cared about was this man winning right here. We had a bunch of clowns come out, a whole bunch of cats, and the only two cats I cared about in this matchup was Mark Briscoe and MJF, and they were the first two. I said it only makes the most sense, MJF winning, because him and Hangman was beefing, and they're tied. It makes the most sense. Listen, you don't put this man with Hurt Syndicate for no reason. Outside of him getting Triple B back. That is the only reason. The only reason. Now, I've heard mixed feelings on this. A lot of people weren't really feeling this. I thought it was good. I thought they did. Listen, MJF was obviously struggling. They had Mystico out there. They had all. And shout out to my main man, Juice is back. Now, Juice came back not looking like we want Honeycomb. He completely shaved his mustache and his beard. His hair is not as frisky as it used to be. A lot of people was like, oh, snap, who is this guy? But he got a big pop. He got a huge pop out there in Texas. Right guy won. Contract. He got to cash in whenever he want. I don't know how Tony Khan is going to book this, but I just want TK and them to make us give a damn. And I'm on. They got me. Tonight, we started about 30 minutes. Tonight is the night to start the build up to freaking Forbidden Door. It makes the most sense. I'm telling you right now, we got to get things going. Because a lot of cats, like myself, a lot of the people who just been hating on this company and saying they dead, they're done for and all this crap, the stories is the number one thing that TK and them need to focus on. And MJF and Hurt Syndicate with the contract makes the most sense, especially with my man HangMan winning that championship. I'm jumping the gun. I'll get there. Now this right here, because Adam Cole had to relinquish the TNT title, I'm sitting up and saying, Kyle Fletcher got to get the job done. But then, hearing a lot of people talk, the air went out the room. This was kind of like, okay, we got to do something. And I feel bad for my boy. I feel bad. Kyle Fletcher, he's been trying his best. He has been trying. And he keeps losing. Every time he tries to go for that TNT title, he finds a way to lose. Dustin Rhodes wins his first quote-unquote singles title in AEW history. Feel-good moment. Fans going crazy. Me, I personally wanted Kyle, but I get it. Because the air went out the room. Adam Cole was out the door. They got to do something. Tony Khan said, hey, Dustin, Mercedes has 50 million belts. I'm about to give you another one too. Now, the story that can be told here, because if you notice, Sammy kind of had a look on his face like, but remember, they're the Trios champs. Remember, they are the Trios. I'm talking about Ring of Honor. 6-man title champs, Ring of Honor tag team. So there's a little something going on, but Kyle Fletcher should be the one. Kyle Fletcher should be the one. If you really want Dustin Rhodes and Sammy to have a beef, have Sammy be the reason why Kyle Fletcher gets the job done. When that time calls for it. I'm not sure exactly when. Dustin doesn't need to have the TNT title for a long time, but Kyle Fletcher, he's overdue. My guy is overdue. This was his opportunity. Adam Cole messed that up by getting, with the concussion. That's that. Now, I didn't expect this to be the match of the night. My match of the night was Kenny and Okada. Ladies and gentlemen, Swerve, Ospreay, and the Bucks of Suck gave us an instant classic. Now, I know a lot of people be talking about the Young Bucks, and let me tell you something. The interest is, man, look, Ospreay, he is a doggone Assassin's Creed fanatic. He is a stand for freaking Assassin's Creed, so he gonna have an Assassin's Creed theme walk him out there. That's exactly what he did. Swerve had Bray Wyatt's widow, JoJo, sing Ain't Nobody. For people who are not familiar, in the independent scene, that was his theme song by Shaka Khan, Ain't Nobody. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, when the Young Bucks came out and got on them doggone boats, I said, these clowns are something else. Now, going into this, y'all, my mind was all over the place because of the stipulation that got added. The stipulation was, if Ospreay and Swerve beat the Bucks, they lose the power of being EVPs. But if Swerve and Ospreay lose, they can no longer challenge for the AEW title for a full year. I was all over the place. I was like, I don't know. And then leading up to it, they had a backstage segment. I'm thinking of like, oh snap, somebody finna turn. Is it Swerve? Is it Ospreay? Something. Even Ospreay put out a tweet. Wrestling changes forever. I'm like, oh snap. This match, the craziness, cats going nuts, cats doing. I mean, the timing, the pacing, and what everybody was able to do. They was able to get their stuff in. I mean, it had me on the edge of my seat. I'm thinking it was a couple of spots where Swerve and Ospreay were not seeing eye to eye, and you would thought that would have messed things up. But the stories that were being told when Ospreay was finna get sneeze smash, Swerve jumped in front to take the hit, just like how Ospreay took the thumbtack gym shoes to the face for Swerve when he was tied down. It was just so much story being told. Like I said, for fools that say AEW doesn't tell stories, yes they do. When they want to tell something great, they can. And watching this, I'm telling you, it was great. It was fantastic. They got the job done. Swerve and Ospreay walk out. Now I don't know if they actually are the EVPs now, but the Young Bucks do not have that title anymore. They do not have that title, and it was great. It was like I said, it was my match of the night. I mean they all four members did a great job. I loved it. Listen, when Kat said they going all in, they going all in. Matt and Nick Jackson went in. Swerve and Ospreay, they went in. Nana doing his little stuff, they went in. It was great. Listen, Young Bucks are silly, they goofy. We all know how they get down, but I'm telling you right now, you can't hate. This right here, I really didn't know who was winning. Tony Khan actually got my girl out of doggone Ring of Honor purgatory. Miss Athena is your new Women's Casino Gauntlet winner. She has the contract. She can challenge for the AEW title whenever she wants. The Women's Casino, you had Willow out there. You had Mina Shakawa. You had Megan Bain, Chris. Everybody was pulling up. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? But Athena got the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Khan, you hear me right now. Get us fully invested in this situation. My girl you've been hiding on Ring of Honor TV for 2 years now. It's time for us to see Athena get her shine on for real. When she cashes in, I don't know. I have no clue. But it's Tony Khan's job to tell the story. So in about 20-some minutes, it's Tony Khan's job to get us to give a damn about seeing Athena take Tony down when the time calls for it. Now this right here, I didn't think it was going to become a triple threat, but it came a triple threat because when MVP ran into Christian Cage and them, you knew some foolishness was about. Plus, they did the teaser. They did the teaser, ladies and gentlemen. The tease of you know who coming back. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Her Syndicate defeats Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, Speedball Mike Bailey, Indy Patriarch, Christian Cage, and Nick Wayne. Now, FTR was sitting ringside because right now they are the number one contenders. So it doesn't matter who wins the match, they get a shot. I don't know when they get a shot, but they get a shot for those AEW Tag Team titles. They were sitting ringside. Next thing you know, Christian Cage and them going to mess with FTR and what's my boy name? I can't even think my guy name. But going out there and messing with them, so you know they was going to quote unquote get involved, and that's exactly what happened. After the match, Nick Wayne and company turned on Christian Cage. Her Syndicate retained their titles. The Patriarch were fin to destroy Christian. They was finna concerto him. You think you know me? The music hits. Everybody goes nuts. Adam Copeland comes back. He got Spiky in his hand. He chased them clowns off. Now, I like the subtleties. They ain't putting them together right now. Adam picks him up. And remember when Adam Copeland first pulled up and Christian told him to go F himself? Cope told him, go find yourself. The slow burn to them getting together has just started, and I can't wait. All Out is in Toronto, ladies and gentlemen. Pencil it. We all know, regardless of whoever has those tag team titles, All Out, Christian Cage, and Adam Copeland are walking out with those tag team titles. The story writes itself. It's just TK getting us to be fully invested when that time comes. But I'm telling you right now, All Out, Christian, Adam Copeland walking out with those AEW tag team titles. This match right here, I wish I was able to tell y'all my predictions. I called this. I said it. Watching this build up, and I already know fools do not care for Mercedes right now because they feel too much of her real self is come out of this character, the CEO or whatever. Mercedes has looked way too strong going into this, and I knew it. I was like, Tony got this on lock, man. She got it on lock. Watching this matchup, they made you think Tony was losing. Mercedes got a couple of move sets in. She did that move where, just even Luther got laid out. Luther got involved. It was, and I'm sitting up and watching this. I said, oh snap. I said, man, I don't know. But I'm watching. Mercedes takes her first loss in AEW on the main stage. She did not successfully win the AEW championship. Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm, retains the AEW title. I say that was the right call. That was the right call. The story of Mercedes is second guessing herself. Now she has some story now. With all them garbage titles she's carrying, outside of the TBS title, she has story now. Does she gain the confidence? And I think what TK needs to do is have Mercedes go on a serious losing streak. She starts losing to everybody. She loses the TBS title. She loses everything. She loses it all until it's time to go win the AEW title. I don't know when, but it's up to Tony Khan to tell that story. This matchup, I was on Kenny Omega's bumper. I said Kenny got this on lock. Until my brother was like, yo, Okada's going to win. I was like, why? They teased Okada and Takeshita. Look how Don Calliston slithered his way away from Takeshita to Okada, because Okada's the hot thing. He's the current Triple Crown Continental Champion, right? Don Calliston slithered his way with him. That should let you know who's going to win that title off of Okada. Takeshita. When? I'm not sure. Was this like the previous classes they had? No, but it was very good. Because Kenny is older and he has the gut situation. And Okada is just going to coast. The cheating that was going on in this didn't even make no sense. Don Callis, old clown behind, cheating his behind off, doing what he want. You had Kota Ibushi out there looking like a head coach. But Kenny did not get the job done. And I said, you know what? That was the right call. I know my man's BC said he would prefer Kenny to win, but Okada going over to me is the right call, because I feel like Okada is holding on to this because he's eventually going to drop this to Takeshita. When? I don't know, but Tony Khan and company, they can tell that story if they want to. They can tell it, and I'm here for it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here for it. I can't wait. Tonight, Tony Khan, you got 20 minutes. 20 minutes. 20 minutes, because fools have been on your bumper. I've been on your bumper. We all been on your bumper. Every single one of us. Now let's go ahead and talk about this main event. This insane to the membrane, wild, crazy man main event. The entire IWC, outside of Moxley heads and Moxley apologists, were on Moxley to retain. And I was sitting up here going back and forth like, man, TK bet not have Moxley to retain. Us, a whole bunch of us were like, man, look, Moxley retaining is going to kill so many people's enjoyment of this company. We want AEW to be around for a very long time. But constantly pushing Moxley and thinking that this is doing something ain't it. Now, I can see why people talk and say him not showcasing the title for dang near 9 months, it paid off in the end. And I'll talk about that when I get there. Death match 2 between Hangman and Moxley. They didn't waste no time busting each other open. Hangman pulled out a fork. Moxley pulled out a fork. Hangman started stabbing that fool in the head, bleeding all over the place. This man bust him open. He started bleeding all over the place. And the cheating began right from the get-go. Moxley did everything in his power to retain this title. And I'm sitting up here watching this, and I said, man, TK, you bet not. Every time we thought Hangman was going to overcome, it looked like Moxley just had this in the clutches. Like, he just like, oh, I'm going to make sure that fans walk away sad and ready to turn the TV off. Ladies and gentlemen, the story that happened towards the end of this, with everybody coming out there trying to help. You had Will Ospreay coming out there, but Will Ospreay got taken out. So Marina Shafir was told to go get the doggone briefcase. She went to go try to get the briefcase. And next thing you know, she gets handcuffed. Everybody was like, oh, snap. Prince Nana locked her up and she couldn't go nowhere. So everybody was like, where the heck is Swerve at? We know Swerve is around the corner. Swerve came out of nowhere. And he handed, now, there was a, before I continue this, on Collision, there was a sit down. Hangman and Swerve had a sit down to get off their chest the anger that they have, the hatred and the anger that they have towards one another. About him going into his house, messing with his son, and then him burning down his house. And they both talked about how they both regretted doing what they did. Swerve came out there and gave him the chain that he used against him when they was in the death match. And I want to say a couple of All Outs ago, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever. He used that same chain. He gave him that chain to basically use it against Moxley, to basically have that man choked out. He put that man, choked him out, threw him over the rope, choked him. Moxley started tapping like a crazy person. Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand how everybody in the household went completely crazy? People went nuts. I'm telling you, listen, this was everybody's WrestleMania. As long as this pay-per-view was, and I tell y'all the time, I am not a fan of these extra long man pay-per-views. I would cut these at least, like I said, I would tolerate, All Out is the only one I'll tolerate being 5 hours. The only one. But 7 hours plus, that's just way too much. But outside of that, I thought Tony Khan and company and everybody who did what they were supposed to do gave us a classic pay-per-view. I have not given AEW pay-per-view over a 9 or 9 or higher in the last several plus pay-per-views. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't do this. I never. You know me. I don't give 10s. I just don't. That's if I'm giving a 10, then you know I'm shilling out. But because we have had to endure Moxley day in, day out, just killing the product, killing. And when at the end, Hangman took 30 years to open up the briefcase just to marinate and let us just feel like, because we haven't seen it in so long, and when he finally opened it up, he bursted into tears. And you talk, I'm like, I get it. Moxley not showcasing his title made the fans really be invested in seeing it. And when we finally saw it, it's like, oh man, you just feel some kind of way. You feel good. It's like it's a genuine feel good moment. And I'm like, this is what All In is all about. And I'm like, TK knew dang well Moxley could have not walked it. He knew it. He knew Heyman had to walk it. Matter of fact, at the press, he said plans have got changed. In other words, he almost wanted Moxley to go over. I thank God he did. I thank God Hangman got the job done. I really do. And I'm ecstatic. Show's about to start in about 14 minutes. I said, let me go ahead and get this honest review on. Listen, long, like I said, cut half the pre-show out. Let's see, if it's one match I'm probably taking away. You know what now. I said I just probably take away these 2 matches. I probably wouldn't do so. Instead of 12 matches, it just would have been 10. It would have literally been 10 matches, and we would probably got done a little bit early. But some cats think the reason why he went overboard was to stick it to doggone Triple H for deciding to have NXT and main events on the same exact time. And you know what? It is what it is. But Ladies and gentlemen, I don't do this. I do not do this. So do not expect me to do this again. All I get is a 10 out of 10. I do not give 10. I don't. I do not. I'm serious. That to me, when you give stuff 10 out of 10, you straight chilling. And listen, if you want to call me a freaking shield, listen, let bygones be bygones. Do what you got to do. But for this particular moment, because we had to endure this circus clown. Oh, I forgot to say, Brian came back. Brian came back to help him out too. That's another surprise. Brian came out of nowhere. Like, oh, and Darby Allin. That's right. Darby Allin came from the sky, acting like he was Sting. He came out of nowhere too. So that was another good thing that happened too. So, yeah. I ain't got nothing else to say. I legit enjoyed what I watched. Now, again, it's all about the momentum. Keeping the momentum. Don't result back into what you are known for doing. And that's being lackluster when it comes to TV. Flips and dives are not just for TV. We don't need flips and dives all the time. We need the story. You give us the story, and the story is what gravitates us into the freaking flips and dives. Yes, you're always going to have time for flips and dives on the rest of the TV show. The story and the larger-than-life characters is what makes your company. And this is what we need starting tonight. The build-up to Forbidden Door and All Out begins tonight. I don't want no bull job. I know Tony Khan already booked the 6-man tag team match. That trash should be the main event. I do not want that to open the show. I do not. Because it won't make no sense for that to open the show, and then after you do this stupid stuff, then we hear from Hangman. No. Hangman should be the first person we hear from in the next 12 minutes. He should be the first person we hear from. The first person. Outside that, ladies and gentlemen, I ain't got nothing else to say. What are y'all thoughts? Y'all hit the comment section up. Y'all tell me what y'all feel. Are you genuinely happy for this company? Or are you still in the same, like, man, Tony Khan ain't going to do nothing. He just got y'all hyped for absolutely no reason. Y'all already know what to do. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you hit that comment section up. Make sure you hit the like button. And I'll talk to y'all cats later. Holla at your boy.